All right, final video for week 1 of the conductivity and ionic bonding unit. This is the types of bonding activities. So there's a lot going on in this. There's some initial ideas, there's reading, and then there's going back and answering questions and figuring things out. I will say one thing I've noticed about this that I wish I'd caught before I posted it is that the structure of it is weird. It has the reading all the way at the end, and you really need to do the reading kind of in the middle. So I'll talk about what that is. All right, so initial ideas. Here's the initial ideas data table. So this one you can just try and do this really quick. We have 4 groups. You can do a couple of things. So I want you to think about, here are the cards right here. There's 16 of them, right? 4, 8, 12, 16. And what I want you to do is I want you to sort these into 4 groups. Which ones do you think have an ionic bond? Which ones do you think have a network covalent bond? Which ones do you think have a metallic bond? And which ones do you think have a molecular covalent bond? I will be honest, right? You have no clue about this. I would hazard a guess that almost nobody looking at this is like, I have no clue. Or maybe you have some clue for some of them. Maybe you're like metallic bond. Maybe that means this. Or maybe ionic bond means this. So you might have some ideas. For this first one, just guess. Honestly, just guess. Tell me what you think. Put in what you think is where out of these 16 substances, and we'll go from there. So maybe go ahead and do that. Pause the video for a bit. Come back to it. And welcome back. All right, so now we're thinking about the reading. So you're going to do the reading. It's below the analysis questions. And what you want to think about when you are looking at this is, first off, these pictures right here of the different types of bonds. So there's an ionic bond, there's a molecular covalent bond, there is a metallic bond, and there is a network covalent bond. So these 4 types of bonds. Hi, Clara. Did you want to come say hi to my students? You're thirsty. You want to say hi? No? Okay.
But why are they not talking?
Well, there's nobody here right now. I'm just doing that. That was my daughter, Clara. So, yes. Oh, and here comes my son. What's up, buddy? Do you want to say hi to my students?
No.
No? Okay.
Daddy, could I do a game?
You can do a game now. All right. So, now, back to this. Here's what you're looking at in the pictures here for each of these. So there's the ionic substances, molecular covalent, metallic, and network covalent. Each of these little spheres here represents the atom. What the gray area represents is where the electrons go in the bond. So you notice here in the metallic, they're kind of all over the place. In the network covalent, they form connections between lots of different atoms. In molecular covalent, they form connections between specific atoms. And in ionic, the electrons tend to cluster around one specific atom. So the metal atoms lose their valence electrons, while the non-metal atoms gain valence electrons. So these ones right here would be the metals. These ones right here would be the non-metals. So that's one thing I want you to think about there. As you're doing your reading, I want you to think about these properties. Hardness, how hard is the substance? Solubility, does it dissolve? Conductivity, does it conduct electricity, and how? What form does it need to be in to conduct electricity? And what kinds of atoms make it up? Are they metals, non-metals, both metals and non-metals, only metals, only non-metals? I want you to think about that. All right? So I'm going to skip down all the way to the bottom to look at this reading. So thinking about this, so we've been introduced to ionic compounds a little bit. That's not quite true in this reading. In the previous reading they did, but you guys didn't do that previous reading, so don't worry about that sentence. Covalent bonding, molecules, network covalent bonding, things to think about. I'm not going to go through this too much, but I will talk about, hey, here's a good place for you to think about, oh, this is talking about the hardness of the substance right here. Then bonding can also help explain the properties of dissolving and conductivity. So you can look at, oh, these are how substances dissolve, whether depending on what kind of substance they are. Conduction requires this. And then what each of the substances are made of. So there's that. Let's come back up to the analysis questions now. First off, you're going to go back and you're going to look at the cards from above again, each of these. And you're going to say, is this ionic? Is this network covalent? Is it molecular covalent? Or is it metallic? Those are your 4 choices. Things you can think about. First off, look at what substances is made of. Sodium is made of just sodium. Salt water is made of salt and water. The AQ means it's aqueous, it's dissolved in a solution. Na for sodium, Cl for chloride. Platinum is just platinum. Sand is silicon and oxygen. Table sugar, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay, all good examples there. Thinking about what it's made of. Think about its hardness. What is it like? Does it dissolve? Does it conduct? These are things that will help you figure out what substance it is. All right? So then you're going to hopefully have recorded the properties in each of these. The hardness, the solubility, conductivity, and the types of atoms that make it up. And then you're going to come here, you're going to identify the atoms. If there is a metalloid in there, now I want you to look at the properties and take your best guess. And I'll tell you, metalloids are weird because sometimes they have properties of metals, sometimes they have properties of nonmetals, sometimes they have a little bit of both. So they can make it a little bit confusing and kind of blur the lines between these different types of bonds. So think about that as you're doing this. All right. So, thinking about these questions, I did already go over this one, so I'm not going to say it again. You can rewind the video. Type of bonding for each substance. I want you to go back through and think about that. Good one there. So these are all analysis questions based on the reading. So this is in kind of the hardness section of the reading. Okay, so thinking about how does the network covalent bonding explain the hardness of diamond? So number 5, take a guess on this and maybe go back and look at the solubility section of the reading. Use this, take a guess at predicting. Think about, is it a gas, a solid, or a liquid? Think about what types of substances are in it. Think about, so use that. Take a guess on those. All right. Finally, this is going to connect us back to 2.2, to the conductivity of substances lab. So you had Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, you divided them. This one dissolved but didn't conduct. This one dissolved and did conduct. This one did not dissolve and did not conduct. And this one did not dissolve, but it did conduct. So think about each of those groups. What type of bond do they have? And then think about, for number 8, you can think about this. You might not have a super solid answer for this one yet, and that's fine. Just try and come up with your best idea. And then coming back to thinking about Madison's bathwater, we've talked a little bit in the conductivity of substances lab about, okay, what must have been in the bathwater? Now we can put a name to that. What kind of chemical? Would it be ionic, network covalent, molecular covalent, or metallic? And why do you think that? All right, that's all I've got for this. Good luck, y'all.